It was my first Halloween. I had never gone trick-or-treating or even had ever celebrated the holiday before. My family was always weirded out by the idea of Halloween, they never quite understood it. But this year was the first year that they finally agreed to let me go. I was excited, but I realized that I didn't have a costume to wear. I had absolutely no idea what to wear. I didn't have any money to go buy a costume, so I did the next best thing. I took an old white sheet, cut out 2 holes, and made a ghost costume. I put the sheet over my head and walked up to my mirror. I looked silly, but I thought it was great for my first costume. I stood in front of the mirror for a bit, fixing the minor details when I saw a foggy figure walk behind me. I stood there in shock until the foggy figure was standing right next to me. I turned and looked over and saw the ghost of a teenage girl. I screamed to the top of my lungs and tried to run, but I tripped over the sheet. The sheet slipped off my head, and I turned to see if the girl was still there. She was gone. A minute later, my mother came in and asked me what was wrong. I thought about telling her about what just happened, but I knew that if I did she would have not let me go anymore, so I just told her that I thought I saw a big spider. My mother looked at me weird, shrugged her shoulders, and walked away. When she left, I closed my door, grabbed the sheet, and put it on again. I walked up to my mirror to continue fixing the costume when I heard something near me. Hello. I jumped and turned around and saw the girl again. She was smiling as she stood next to me. I like your costume. I was so confused that I touched my forehead to see if I was having a fever dream, but instead of my face being hot, it was as cold as snow. The girl continued to stand there looking at me. I got so freaked out that I ripped the sheet off my head, but when I took it off, the girl was gone. That was weird. I took the sheet and placed it over my head, and I saw the girl still standing there. This time she was looking at the calendar on the wall. I looked down at the sheet and took it off again. The girl was gone. I put the sheet on and she would appear. I repeated this action for about 2 minutes. I just couldn't believe it. It was as if every time I wore the sheet I could see her, and if I ever took it off I would no longer be able to see her. You know, if you keep pulling off that sheet and then putting on again, it's gonna make your hair frizz up, and trust me, you do not want frizzy hair. Leave that style to the ghost from the 80s. Ghost? I'm not a ghost. Of course you're not, it's pretty obvious. How can you tell it's obvious? Real ghosts don't wear white bed sheets over their heads. I guess you're right. Wait. You're not going to haunt me or anything, right? No, I'm not that type of ghost. I let out a sigh of relief. I looked at the girls and asked, "What's your name?" "Gwen, what's yours?" "Maximum." Gwen and I chatted for a bit, and then the realization hit me. I was having a conversation with a ghost. The thought of it made the hairs on the back stand up straight. "So where are you going with that silly sheet over your head?" "I'm going trick-or-treating for the first time." "Really?" "I haven't gone in years." "Really? Why? Should that even be a question? Look at me, I'm dead. Ghosts can't go trick-or-treating, people could see me." "I guess you're right. Hey, what if I go with you tonight?" "You want to go trick-or-treating with me?" "Yeah, it would be great." "What if someone sees you?" "You're right, give me a white sheet, and then I can go as a ghost and no one can see me." "Weren't you just telling me that my sheet looked silly?" "Yeah, but now I think it's a great idea, and now I want one." "If you say so, I'm going to go look for another sheet." I went into my closet and searched around to see if I had an extra one. I eventually found one and took it to my desk. I cut out the 2 holes and gave it to Gwen. "So what do you think? Now you look like a ghost." We laughed and I turned to look at the clock on the wall. It was time to go trick-or-treating. "All right, I'm going to put your sheet in my candy bag, and I'll go downstairs and tell my parents that I'm leaving. You're gonna meet me outside, and then you can put your sheet on." "That sounds good to me." I nodded and left my room. I walked downstairs and saw my mom and dad eating dinner at the dinner table. I said goodbye to them and walked out the door. I turned the corner and saw Gwen hiding behind a shrub. "What are you doing?" "I'm hiding." "They can't see you, remember they can only see if they dress up as a ghost." "Oh, you're right, silly me." We both laughed and handed Gwen her sheet. She put it on, and we went on our way. We went to many houses and filled our candy bags till they were about to explode. We had a blast, and when I got home, Gwen gave me all of her candy, since ghosts don't eat. So I got 2 years' worth of candy supplies. I made a new friend this year, and I guess I will be going as a ghost every year now.